May the Lord give this council the wisdom, discernment and courage to serve the community. Grant also that we may act compassionately and in integrity in the best interest of this Shire. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. I would like to show respect and acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land and elders past, present and future on which this meeting takes place. Thank you, councillors. Welcome to those in the gallery, and Councillor Burns is attending on Zoom. Okay. Application for attending meeting by video link. The GM.
Mr. Mayor, we have Councillor Burns online. We did receive one from Councillor Mackenzie as well, but she's since given an apology. So it's only Councillor Burns, I believe, we need to make a resolution on.
Someone like to move? Move Councillor McPhee, second Councillor Campbell. In favour? Against? Carried. Apologies. Application for leave of absence by councillors.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Councillor Mackenzie and is an apology. Councillor Williamson and Councillor Watts are still on leave as well.
Move up. Move Councillor Clare, second Councillor Campbell. All in favour? Against? Carried. Councillors, we've got 3 public participation. We've got one on D06.1, DA number 37/2022, subdivision of 1 lot into 3 lots. That's David Cassens. So David, I might ask you to come up to the mic, please. And you know the drill. You got 5 minutes, and then you'll get the after 4. Thank you.
Better. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to address the meeting today. My client, the owner, and myself as applicant appreciate the council staff have assessed the application and their recommendation is for approval. As noted in the report, there were several issues which required additional investigation and submission of subsequent reports, etc. The subject land has an area of over 4,500 square metres. The 3 lots that are proposed have areas of 1,018 square metres. The 2 at the front and the rear Battle Axe lot is just under 2,500 square metres with a 5 metre wide access handle. The land previously had an old dwelling on it, which was demolished quite some time ago. A preliminary contamination report revealed that some additional work is required on the site to ensure it's safe for further development. 2 submissions were received during the exhibition period. The issues raised have been mentioned in the report, and while the concerns noted are acknowledged, staff have assessed the development as being appropriate for the locality and recommended conditional approval. In summary, the issues included the width of the proposed lots, Lot 3 not having direct road frontage, it's about the Battle Axe lot, noise and privacy relating to future development primarily of Lot 3, the larger one at the back, and water and stormwater. I don't intend to go through the report or the submissions in detail, as I'm sure councillors will have had an opportunity to do this prior to the meeting. Suffice to say that all relevant matters have been considered by the assessing officer, and the recommendation is to conditionally approve the application. Look forward to council support of the staff recommendation. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Dave. Any councillors got questions today? Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. Thank you, David, for your presentation. How much area is for the Battle Axe dwelling just proposed subdivision? My reason for asking that is that they are very big blocks at Merriwall. And really, if they were to have the 2 dwellings we put on that, they'd meet the 20 metres to Venica Street. I guess I like to see area at the back of each dwelling that can be used for kids playing and that sort of thing. And now what we're doing, we're actually subdividing those areas and putting more houses there. And I just find that I don't accept that kind of thing because of the fact that there's so much area, less area for kids and that sort of thing, just to have a decent backyard. So, can you answer that Battle Axe block? How much area of backyard is in that proposed dwelling?
Thanks, Councillor Campbell. The Battle Axe block is 2,500 square metres. So in old school, that's more than half an acre at the back. So there's plenty of, it's a good sized block at the back. The two at the front are both over 1,000 square metres, the old quarter acre, which is your traditional size residential lot, I guess, in the village. The minimum lot size is certainly much less than that. So they're significantly exceeding the minimum lot size according to the zone. Whilst they're, some 3 metres less than what the DCP guideline is, bear in mind it's a guideline that can be amended if it's appropriate to do so. It's only 3 metres less in the overall frontage. There's a number of lots, certainly on the other side, that are very similar width frontage, very similar overall size. So it's really mirroring existing development that's available in that locality.
Thank you, David. Any more questions? Councillor
Through you,
Flaherty?
Mr. Chair. So are the surrounding lots less than 20 metres frontage?
The tip front lots are about 17 metres.
Yeah, and you referenced that it's comparable to other lots around there. Are any of those less than?
Yes, yeah, there's a number of them, particularly on the other side of the street. There's the row of 5 or 6, I think, which are similar. So it's really reflecting the existing streetscape.
Thank you. No more questions, councillors? Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move over to G06.1, return and earn reverse vending machine, Scone and Merriwar. John Stanley, representing Tomra, for the recommendation. Thank you, John. Same rule, mate. You get 4 minutes and then you'll hear the noise and you're 1 minute after that.
No problem.
Looking forward to this presentation. Let's take
Mr. Mayor and councillors, thank you for letting me be here to speak tonight. It may seem like I'm unprepared, but I promise you I'm not. I've got everything up here and I'm not much of a public speaker, but we'll get through this. So as Mr. Mayor pointed out, I am from Tomra. Tomra have partnered with Cleanaway since 2017 and the New South Wales EPA and the New South Wales government to do the return and earn scheme where communities can take their containers back for a 10-cent refund. So as you all are aware, Scone has had an RVM kiosk here previously. It's done some phenomenal volume and through no fault of ours or anyone else's, Woolworths is being redeveloped and as such, we had to remove that kiosk. So since that has happened, we have been trying to place one back into Scone and we've also been looking at Merriwar, understanding that a community out there also requires a return point rather than them driving 45 minutes out here to have the same privilege, I suppose. So I will touch on a bit of that volume that I discussed very briefly. So Scone, the RVM kiosk that was here did over 21 million containers from January 2018 till April 2023 when it was unfortunately removed. That's over $2.1 million back into the pockets of every single person in Scone that used that RVM, in the pockets of the people from Merriwar who came over here to use that machine as well. So you can understand why Tomra are really pushing to have this RVM placed back into the community. It helps you, it helps us, it helps everybody. It's a massive benefit to the community. So I won't touch too much more on the specifics of everything. We have identified a few locations in town that Matt's been assisting with. And I'll just open the floor to any questions from anyone.
councillors, I'll just comment. I was talking to a gentleman the other day that's very keen to help fundraise around our town, and the dollars that he's put through that machine in Scone is actually a lot of thousands of dollars into fundraising for things around Scone. So look, thank you. The sooner we can get this up and running again, the better.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Councillors, any other councillors? Councillor Campbell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. Thank you, John. It's indeed good news to hear that you're going to do. I'm from Merriwar, so it's really great news to hear that you're going to proceed with the Tomra earn return vending machine, which is great. The proposed emptying of that machine, is it once a week or is it? How are you going to do that?
So all of our RVM kiosks are fitted with bin sensor technology. So as the machine fills up, as you've all seen before, they are two 20-foot shipping containers side by side. And in the back of those, we have 1,100 litre bins for the lightweight materials, which is your plastic cans, cartons. And then you have 660 litre bins for your glass. So as those bins fill up from front to back, Cleanaway, our service partner, will get a notification on their dashboard to deploy a truck if they haven't already deployed one. So it's all based on volume. And we are looking to put the larger unit in Merriwar to relieve some of that logistical pressure from Cleanaway, because it is a bit of a drive from the nearest depot in Muswellbrook. And it obviously is better uptime, better running time for the community out there. Rather than the machine being full all the time, as I'm sure Scone was full quite a lot, we will have the machine open quite a bit longer and a bit more available for the community. So to answer your question, we won't be able to say for certain if it's once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. The more volume the community puts through, the more times it will be serviced.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for that,
Thank you.
John.
Any other councillors? Just a quick question. If approved, how long do you believe before it's up and running?
For Merriwa, there is a bit of an extensive build required for the space that we have identified there. That one will be a little bit longer, and I can't comment on how long that will be. We'll do our best to push it through as quickly as possible, making sure everything's done right.
Yep.
The Scone RVM, however, in the location identified, we could have that thing turned around in 4 to 6 weeks, provided we had power supplied to it from the neighbouring Coles facility, and we had everyone on board.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, thank you. Just a further question on that, Merriwa. You just mentioned power supply. Why didn't I ask? Is the power supply nearby? And what will it cost to get that power supply to the vending machine?
Yeah,
Any
so
estimates?
So we have approached the bowling club out there for them to supply us with power, and part of our agreement is we would reimburse them for the use of that power. For context, these RVM kiosks at full capacity running 4 or 5 million containers a year use about as much electricity as a refrigerator. We're talking about $600 to $800 a year. So we reimburse them for $1,200 in case it does go over. So they will not be out of pocket. However, we haven't heard back from the bowling club, so we're unsure if they will be supportive of it. In other locations like Moree, like Narromine, we've gone to NMIs or new metered installs. So we can contact your local service provider of electricity in Scone or Merriwa. We can have them have a new installation set up for us so we can run power off that, and then we just pay the meter as anyone would.
Thank you.
The NMI can take a period of time, can be as quick as 2 weeks, can be however long, just depends on, I guess, where our ticket falls in the service provider's docket list.
Mr. Mayor, I did ask, was there any estimates of cost that would be to get that up and running? In other words, coming from what change would have to be at the bowling club, the sports club, to accommodate this vending machine? Have you got any idea of those costs?
So if it is to be powered through the bowling club, Tomra will take full responsibility and cover all the costs associated with installing the power. It'll be at no cost to the club at all. If it is an NMI, obviously I've been speaking with Matt about the commercials to get the Merriwa site up and running, and that will be a separate NMI connection, which again, Tomra will pay for and pay for the entire install and running cost, basically.
Okay, no further questions. Thanks, John.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, councillors, G06.2, delivery program operational plan. It's Ronald S. Dale representing SELF for the recommendation. Take the mic, please. So, Ron, you'll get 4 minutes and then you'll hear the noise for 1 minute to go. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I'm Jeff Esdale. I'm a self-funded retiree. I've been a Scone resident for 5.5 years. I wrote recently to the council expressing the need for more affordable housing in the Shire. General Manager Greg McDonald replied that the council is currently doing a review of land use strategy and is looking to do an audit of council-owned vacant land. This could be zoned and used for residential blocks. He is also assessing the ideas of a council housing project, either as a standalone venture or as a project in cooperation with a developer. I commend the council for this strategy and trust that we will soon see progress. I recommend that as much preliminary work as possible be done without incurring a lot of expenditure. If there is some forward action, council may then be in a position to immediately submit an application for funding from the relevant state or Commonwealth authority. In the meantime, I urge councillors and staff to lobby, hound or cajole any relevant persons in authority, either state or Commonwealth politicians, local members, local government association or senior bureaucrats in government to get on with the job. We are ready to go in the Upper Hunter.
Stay there for a minute, please. Mr. Jeb, do you wish to speak on the meeting we had with JO the other day to the government about?
Yeah, I can speak on that,
Quickly,
Mr. Mayor. So Mr. Esdale pointed out, the state government does have some, I guess, interest in trying to provide affordable housing throughout the area. We had a presentation at the Hunter Joint Organisation, and Tim Krakenthorpe, who's the member for Newcastle, but has also been given the ministerial portfolio for the Hunter, spoke at that meeting. His comment to us was if there was any state government land that wasn't being utilised to its full, he was interested to explore those options and asked for the councils to provide a response back to him on state-owned land. We actually spoke to him on the day, and we followed that up with a letter in regard to land that or accommodation which is held at the Scone Hospital, which is currently vacant. So we'll see if there's any progress out of that one as well.
Thank you, and I believe we're having our meeting with that gentleman in the near future.
We've made requests. We're waiting for his office to return our request for meeting.
Thank you. Councillors, any more questions? No? Okay, thank you very much.
All I would say in conclusion, Mr. Chairman, is keep hounding them.
We'll remember that word. Thank you. Okay, councillors, we'll move over to the confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 29th of May 2023 and the extraordinary council meeting held on the 9th of June 2023. Going to move up. Move Councillor Campbell, second Councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Disclosure of interest, Mr. GM.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one disclosure of interest from Councillor McPhee. It's in regard to item G 6.5, the donations report. She's declaring a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest as her mother was the signatory on the letter of request and is the secretary of the Gundy Hall Committee. I believe she'll be remaining in the room as it has, but have no involvement.
Thank you, Mr. GM. No further. We'll move on, councillor, straight on to the agenda items on page 4. You see SCR 06.1, the Environmental Community Services Committee. The recommendation. Councillor McPhee, you moving?
Since I was the only member there the day, we did not meet a quorum. And this is yet again a request that if a councillor is unable to attend a meeting, that they should actually put in an apology in advance. Perhaps the councillor who created the quorum not being met should actually refund the monthly salary that is so in our policy. So yes, I move what is said.
I'll just take that as a comment. Have I got a seconder? Councillor Campbell, any more questions, comment, discussion? I will just follow up a little bit of that. Councillors, I have asked several times at briefing sessions, please respond with a accept, decline, or even a maybe. Three of us councillors travel a long way, and nothing worse than getting to a meeting and find out we haven't got a quorum. Anyway, that's just a comment. Thank you. All in favour? Against? Carried. We move over to infrastructure services on page 6. Got a recommendation. Move Councillor Campbell, second Councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Councillor Burns, Collison, McPhee, Clout and Campbell for. Councillor Flaherty against. Is there an issue there, Councillor Flaherty?
I haven't been able to review the financials to approve those that was discussed in the meeting.
Which financials?
There were financials in there relating to there's one there were financials apparently referenced in here, and I haven't reviewed those. They're not to my satisfaction, so I'm voting against. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just wonder about this. We all get the same table of contents. And then we come to a meeting, we're supposed to have those, that's part of our duty of care. Part of our duty as a councillor, then we come and say, well, I haven't had the time to have a little look through. I think that's most unreasonable, and I think it's
Okay,
very
it's just a comment. It's just, I did ask if, was there any reason? Councillor Flaherty answered it, so we're quite happy to move on. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, it wasn't that I didn't bother to look at them, but they didn't stack up to me, so I'm not prepared to endorse them. It's just that simple, and I've absolutely every right to do that.
Thank you. Okay, motion is carried. Over to page SCR 06.3. Corporate Services Committee.
Moved.
Move Councillor Burns, second Councillor Campbell. Any questions, comment, discussion?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. My first question is, when will the questions I raised, noted in the minutes, be answered?
Mr. GM.
I believe the manager of finance took them on notice. I can't give you an answer. If he can give an indication now, I'm happy to provide that response. But there you go. Early July, after we've finished all the budget matters.
Secondly, I note that at approximately 20 minutes, I requested a breakdown to be presented at the next committee meeting, detailing the deferrals of projects and their associated budgets. Mr. Phelps kindly said that he could bring back a report to give an indication of where the original was and where the revised will end up. However, this was not noted in the meeting minutes, but is important to see at the next meeting.
I wasn't at the meeting, but if we can add that in, Mr. Phelps is nodding that he's agreed to that, so we can add that to the minutes. That's fine.
Thank you. Okay, we've got a mover and we've got a seconder. All in favour? Against? Again, Councillor Collison, Burns, McPhee, Clout and Campbell 4, and against Councillor Flaherty. Over to page, this is not adding up. 15. Got 12 on this. Over to page 15, D06.1, the development application number 37/2022, subdivision of one lot into 3 lots. We've got a mover, move Councillor McPhee, second Councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? Councillor McPhee.
I think this is when we talk about housing issues, this is actually taking one very large block and making into 2 quite nice sizable blocks. I mean, the front 2 are actually core acre blocks, which is about the average size of a scone block. And the back block is actually very sizable as well. So I'd like to commend the landowners for actually looking at that, because that's now providing 3 dwellings as opposed to 1. And when we're talking about housing crisis, I think this is certainly a move forward, still without compromising space.
Thank you, Councillor McPhee. Councillor Campbell, you speaking for?
Yeah, well, a clarification, I get. Yeah, I am.
Clarification?
Oh, yes, yeah. Look, I came to this meeting tonight. I inspected the lots, and I felt that they were cut up and didn't provide the proper space at each at the back of each lot. However, Mr. Casson has explained those things, and so I'm therefore happy to support the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Any other comments, questions? If not, we'll put the motion. All those in favour? No one against. The motion is carried. Yeah, yours not adding up either. No, right, it doesn't matter. Page 38, G06.1, the return and earn reverse vending machine, Scone and Merriwar. You got 2 points of the recommendation. Move Councillor Campbell, second Councillor McPhee. Any questions, comment, discussion? Councillor McPhee.
anything that's encouraging recycling, I think we should definitely wholeheartedly support. I'd like to thank Tomra for this fantastic opportunity for us to be able to do the right thing. And when we get a bit of change that goes towards our charities, it's even a benefit all in all. So thank you, Tomra, for doing this for us.
Here. Councillor Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I thoroughly concur with councillor Ellison's comments, and especially for Mary Ward. It's been a very long and hard road, but the people have spoken, and also Tomra have listened, and I commend them for doing such, because it's going to mean a great asset to our town, and also for the recycling in that area, making it possible to put a lot of the cans and various things, instead of them being in the waste bin, they'll go into this recycling venue. So look, I just commend it, and thank you once again, Tomra, for listening and proceeding with the application.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. No more questions, comment? Put the motion. All in favour? Against? No one. The motion is carried. Okay, councillors, over to page 47, G06.2, delivery program 2022/2023 to 2024-25, and the operational plan 23-24. Councillor, just
Moved.
Move, Councillor Burns. Seconder, Councillor McPhee. Just a comment. Thank you to the staff. It is a very, very big job to put this together. We're never going to satisfy all, but we've got the balanced budget, and we will work very hard now to try and deliver. As I said, we can't get everything in the budget, but I think we've done well. So thank you for the staff. Councillor Campbell, comment?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Yes, I'd certainly concur with those comments. Look, we all don't get everything that we want, but I think that the pressure has been very much on council to balance the budget. We have balanced the budget, or proposed balance the budget, and that's where, if we start off with that, it has a greater prospect of actually balancing the budget as we go through. Yeah, look, there's some things in there that I would have liked to have seen happen, but look, we've got to be realists. There's only one sort of amount of money that we've got to be able to use, and so therefore we've got to make the most and the best opportunity to make those to make the things happen within our shire. And that includes all of our shire, right out from Cassilis up to, let's go with Murrurundi and west out past Gundy. Gundy's a great little town. But we just need to remember that the effort that's been put in to try and make it a balanced budget, I think staff should be commended. And so I will support the Depop resolution.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Councillor McPhee.
I would also like to just thank the staff for their tireless work. Going to several of the Depops, as many of the councillors did do, not all. It was sometimes we outnumbered the community members. I'd just like to perhaps ask for the public to next time make sure that they're coming to these these committees, because without their input, it's very hard to know exactly what direction we should be in. I'd like to thank the staff for doing things like the airport consultation evening. Things like that were very well received, and it also makes the community realise that we're actually working with them as opposed to in silos. So thank you to all those who've attended, who've done all the work to put into this, and the community members who've come and actually been part of the process.
Thank you, Councillor McPhee. Any other questions, comment?
Through you, Mr. Chair. On page 73, I'm hoping you can explain. I'm assuming it's a typographical error. The last two columns are both 25, 26. Is the last column supposed to be 26, 27? Yes. Okay, so that's a typo. Also, in relation to that column, I note that the draft Depop had a deficit of 1.2 million for that year, but ends up with a surplus of 3.78 million. But the variations that we see in that column are even out to zero, but that would leave a $5 billion variation. Could you explain that to me, please? Right, so it's
They're not in thousands.
okay.
Wayne, did you want to come up and sit at one of the tables just to take
But
any finance
also,
questions?
even so, where's the variation? Because I can see the money moving in and out of the different restricted assets account, but I don't see a variation in there to account for that either.
Yes, councillor, it's effectively that they're all in dollar terms. So it went from $1,200 to $3,800. So it's about a $5,000 difference. And there looks like a typographical error in that 75,057 compared to 70,057 in those, the two lines down from there.
Yes,
So it'll
the
come back
same
to
to
the
me
12.
too. So
Yeah,
it's
so it'd be-
supposed to be both 75 or?
Correct, yeah.
Correct,
Yeah,
thank you.
but it'll come back to $1,200 end result, not thousands.
Thank you.
Okay, no more questions, comment? I've had a mover and a seconder, so all in favour? Against? So councillor Burns, Collison, McPhee, Clout and Campbell for, councillor Flaherty against. Councillor Flaherty again, just for clarity, is it all around those couple figures?
No, there's been figures that I've been sending to Wayne asking questions on in the Depop that I haven't received answers to for 2 months, so.
I'm only going to
Those
make one
things could
comment.
change.
Is council staff and council's put a big effort into this. There was workshops and there was meetings, and that would have been the time to bring up your frustrations. Thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, councillors, page 74, G 06.3, making the rates and annual charges for 2023, 2024. Got a mover, move councillor Campbell, second, councillor McPhee. Questions, comment, discussion? No, the motion is carried. No, all four, against? Councillor Burns, you're for?
Yep.
Against, the motion is carried. Over to G 06.3 on page 84. Determination of the mayor and councillors' fees for 2023, 2024. Got a mover,
Moved.
move councillor Burns, a seconder. Councillor Campbell. Any questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Burns, you're right. Thought you had your hand up. No, you're right. Councillor
No,
Campbell.
sorry, it was the glare off my head, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, look, Mr. Mayor, the only thing that I've got, look, I believe the councillors have not been paid and they're still not paid very much for the time that goes in. I've written off 2 motor cars coming across here, which the council did not pay for, and I don't expect them to pay for. That was part and parcel of when I became a councillor. However, I still can't get anybody to take my place, and I'm an old man now, and pay them the same amount, $12,000 that we had that I was the time that I put in for council. I enjoyed putting it in for council because I believed that we were trying to achieve something that was very good for the whole community and for the whole shire. So therefore I was happy, but I do believe that there is a recognition now of the vast area of our shire, and it takes time and it also takes money. I don't believe that those people who travel the roads, because I don't, we don't get paid for going out looking roads and that sort of thing. It's only on for a particular council meeting. So I'm while they may think that it's expensive, it's not. You do your sums, and I think that I support the motion.
Thank you, councillor Campbell. Any more questions, comment, discussion?
Yeah, I've got a comment, Mr. Mayor.
Comment, councillor Burns.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, Mr. Mayor, I had the great pleasure, or whichever way you want to look at it, of stepping into your shoes. Now, it was a light fortnight, I'll grant you that, but by the time I finished, and I kept a log, and it cost me in real terms at least $1,000 in billable hours, of which, if my boss is listening, I did make up those nights. I'm lucky I can do that. I can work of a night time. I can work from home. I'm fairly mobile with my role. But if we want to encourage more councillors, new councillors, or anyone else to get into this game and actually come and try and make this place a better place, we've got to actually make it worth their while. Now, I call it the vow of poverty because that's really what it is, that we do get paid, doesn't really cover it. However, that's what it's there for. So I've got no problem with increasing it to what it is. There will be people that have problems with it. That's fine. I'll see you at the ballot box.
Thank you, councillor Burns. Any other questions, comment, discussion? You've already spoken, councillor Campbell. Okay, those in favour of the recommendation? Against? The motion is, just before I do, just thank you to those councillors that put the effort in. I mean, councillor Burns, I thank you for your comments there. If you're on council for the money, you've taken up the wrong job. Okay, the motion is carried. Correspondence on page 145. I missed one, have I? Oh, so I have. After their pages get mixed up. No, right. G06.5, request for donations. Do we want to do this separately? You know, councillor McPhee staying in the room. So you're quite happy to move 1 to 5?
I'm happy to move them as block. I think they're all worthy.
Okay, councillor Campbell has moved 1 to 5. Got a seconder? Councillor
Point of order though, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, this is procedural. If Councillor McPhee stays in the room, her vote has to be counted. And I know that that's pedantic, but that's the way that the rules are set out.
Yeah, that's correct, councillor Burns. Councillor McPhee states her vote will be a no because you won't vote.
I'm happy to leave the room.
But if you're happy to leave the room, well, how about councillor McPhee? We do them separately, or we'll leave out 5 at this stage, councillors. So councillor Campbell, you happy to move 1 to 4?
I'm happy with that.
And the seconder was councillor Clout. You happy with that? The councillors, the recommendation 1, 2, 3 and 4 only. All in favour? Against? That's lots carried. Now we'll move down to number 5, which councillor McPhee will leave. We've got a mover. Can't move councillor Campbell, second councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Councillor McPhee, that was a quick trip. That number 0.5 is carried also in the affirmative. Thank you. Okay, we'll move over to correspondence items on 145.
I'll move them.
Move councillor Burns, second councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? Nope.
I'll just say as the mover, Mr. Mayor, that the response to the Honourable Barnaby Joyce from the Honourable Julie Collins around small business was heartening. I hope to see it coming true.
Thank you, councillor Burns. All in favour? Against? Carried. Councillors, I think we should sit for a bit longer. Okay, councillors, we declare the meeting closed at 5:41, and thank you all for your attendance.